Hi, Hafsha, you're here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good, Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Well, alhamdulillah. How was your weekend?
Excellent. How was yours?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. How did you do what I said? Did it work out
Yes,
or did it backfire?
I did it. But in other places in life, like other relationships, I sort of did not do so well. Like I freaked out and had a fight and stuff like that.
No issues. Don't worry. It's going to take time. It's not going to come overnight. So just take it easy. Step by step, you'll win the race. Nobody achieved anything in a day. Okay?
Inshallah, yeah.
Inshallah. So, why did you feel so stressed out? Since I'm waiting
Because
for the others, I'm asking you.
something something else happened. Like I had a conflict with someone else, with my husband, and then I did not react the way I should have, and then
So you
things
realize
happened.
shouldn't have. You realized, right? That's a big thing. Realization is a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was one place I sort of in fact I think I overshared a bit with my parents like in expression, but I felt good after that. I felt like I didn't, the burden is gone, like
That's
from my heart. Then I had another burden of of another thing.
the problem. Actually, when you're starting off, it's a childhood issue that you're having, Hafsha. It will take a lot of, I mean, constant work on it. It is not going to come like overnight. So something that is stored in your brain and your nervous system takes time to go out of it. Trained in a positive, it will not go. It has to be transformed into the most positive impact. So it will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Never ever. Don't take too much stress. Go with the flow. Take each day at a time. Things are going to work out, inshallah. Okay?
Thank you.
Welcome. Isra, how was your weekend?
Alhamdulillah, it was good, man. I
Amazing.
woke up one day. I woke up with all my intention, as you said, to be better person, to be good. I'm enough. I woke up with that positivity. Today, I forgot, and then I reminded myself in the middle. But Alhamdulillah, I am reminding that to myself every other
You
hour in the day.
know yourself. Remind yourself, the basics of life, sometimes the basics of life is what do we need? Happiness, right?
Yes.
Everything is connected to our energy of being happy. Today I was doing a lesson in my early childhood, and I was teaching the students early childhood education advanced course. It's a teacher's course, and I was telling even a child needs to feel inclusive. In inclusion policy is so important because otherwise you feel left out. What does a human brain want? Acceptance,
Yes.
acceptance, love, care, respect, self-worth. If we have all this, we are happy individuals, right?
Yes.
Yes. The thing is, when we lack something in our thought process, it's all our mind. Seriously, it's 99% our brain. I can say even 100%. Everything is our thought process. I can create a major unhappy state of mind in a second. Ask me how.
By being negative about anything or demotivating yourself.
Just I have to sit or stand or whatever, and I have to just think, oh my God, I am so alone. I don't have this. I wish I had this. Otherwise, I can just sit in a mall and see at all the shops and think that 10,000 dirham handbag I cannot have. I'm so unlucky, and immediately I'll be unhappy, right? So
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
so funny
hello,
how.
hello,
What is it?
hello. I'm glad to meet you.
Oh,
Wait,
hi,
yes,
Alvina. How are you? Lovely having you as well. Amazing having you. I hope you had a lovely weekend.
My weekends is very active because I have a meeting with my brother, with him family, and I with my husband went to theater.
Uh, so
Many
you had a
act-
busy weekend. That's amazing.
yes, many activities. I have many activities. I had. Mhm.
Thank you. And
Thank
have a great, thanks for coming in. That's what I said. Thank you and have a great lesson today. And we'll be, all of us will be connected during the lesson. Y'all can ask me questions. As I was telling the ladies over here, Isra and Hafsa, that everything is our brain. If I just sit and think I can't have that specific handbag, I was kidding about the price. If I can't have that specific handbag, that thing, I can make so many stories and become unhappy in my mind. I can create negativity. I can create negativity as much as I want. So everything is our nervous system, right? How we think, how we analyze, how we create those uh, negative thought processes. And after you do this course, you will laugh at yourself. Why did I create so much negativity and so much of traffic in my brain? And you'll think it's a waste of time. So I call it traffic for fun, but it's like just getting caught in a traffic jam and there is no way out. How clustered you feel, that's how your brain feels when you have overwhelming thought processes. That's what I mean. Okay, ladies, so with that, let's start our class without having more disruptions and disturbance. Okay, I do not want to today. I want to finish what I've given the last lessons which I've shared. I do not want to waste time. Okay,
Mhm.
so just a minute.
Sorry,
We
ma'am, did
finish
you share some more notes?
no, I'll share tomorrow because I wanted to finish all this, and I'll share more notes tomorrow so that we can at once itself we can quickly go by. So I'm just organizing the note package how I'm going to go by so I can share it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we did the frames of NLP. We completed that, right?
Sorry, ma'am, I cannot see the screen.
Sorry, did we completed yeah, we finished this mind and body connection, right?
Yes, we finished mind and body connection.
I will share the next one so that you all. Next one is quite a bit of a long one so that we have lots of discussions in that. We even spoke about how the nervous system is, and then we go to the last slide, this thing we have over here. Okay, so we will just expand this. You can see my screen, ladies.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The functions of the unconscious mind, the prime directive. Uh, it is the storehouse of repository of all your memories. Now, all our memories are stored in the unconscious mind. If you think of any memory, for example, if I think of a memory, uh, the most happiest day of my life, I can visualize the joy, right?
Mhm.
And I can also think of the most heartbreaking event of my life. I can still visualize. Now, what you will do right now, you don't have to tell me what it is or what it isn't. That's personal. I don't want to know. You can just take a deep breath and think of from, you have to just close your eyes, take a deep breath and think of the most beautiful event of your life, any event that has occurred in the past. And don't tell me what was the event, it's not important. Tell me the feeling of it, what you felt when you thought about it. I'll give you just 2 seconds, okay?
Mhm.
Close your eyes, take a deep breath, inhale, and just think of the most beautiful day of your life you remember in the past. Did you think of it? I'll give you
Mm,
very short time because I want you to quickly recall. I want to train your brain, that's the reason. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Okay. What, Isra? What you're the one who said yes, right? Isra,
Yes.
just tell me, what did you feel?
It was a feeling of
No,
importance.
just now at this state of mind, what did you feel? Not that moment. Yes, you felt amazing, but when you recalled, what did you feel currently, right now?
It gave me happiness thinking about that moment.
What kind of happiness did it give?
Like it brought a smile on my face, and recalling those times made me remember those people who were there.
So I had given you such a short time. In a second, I asked you, did you do it?
No, in a second it didn't come. I had to think a bit of the good day of, like as you said, the day you felt amazing and it was special. I had to think of that special day first. So
Yeah.
once that special day came in my mind, then it made me happy, and it gave me a good vibe.
Okay. So now tell me, uh, just tell me, how did you? If I give you 1 second, just a second, how will you feel?
I don't think so. I can answer in a second.
Mhm. If I gave you just 1 second,
Hmm.
just think how you felt, it would be difficult, right?
Yes,
Because obviously the thought, it's in the unconscious mind. You'll take a while just to recall it, right?
correct.
Yeah. And what about Hafsha?
Sorry, ma'am. Hafsa is not here at the moment. She
Okay,
had some
Albina.
internet issues.
No problem. Albina.
I feel joy and lightness, energy, and fullness in my spirit.
Okay. So now, uh,
Mhm.
these memories are where our emotions reside. Our emotions live. Okay. Now, our brain has emotions, like, for example, the emotion of care, the emotion of love, the emotion of happiness, everything. Okay. Is a
Yes.
feeling, is a feeling, right? It's a
Mhm.
it's a feeling of how you're exactly feeling, right? Now, what will give me happiness? When I'm happy, what will I do? Okay, I may feel top of the world. I might smile to myself. I will say, yes, I did it, right? Or maybe I will, if my children, I remember my daughter topped in her exams. And when she went to receive her certificate, I was crying. So even though it was a happy occasion, there were tears of joy. They were tears of happiness. So we human beings always adapt to beautiful feelings. Okay, that feeling only a human being can have. Okay,
Mhm.
the feeling of joy, the feeling of achievement, the feeling of love, the feeling of connection, the feeling of all this comes by a human soul. So why? God has created us like this, mashallah. Okay, alhamdulillah. We've been created like that. We are full of emotions. As a baby is born, what does he do?
Cry.
Yes, that's an emotion. Even though the child doesn't know, when he comes, his brain is not developed at all. Up to the age of 5 years, the brain is developing, in the process of developing. Stage one, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it's developing, right? Up to the age of five. Just imagine, the child does, this is the greatest example I have how miraculous the human is. Just imagine that child doesn't know what is the meaning of crying. Does he know?
No.
Does
No.
he know that when he gets hungry he needs to cry? Is he a robot? Did we program him? No. Okay, he's
Mhm.
hungry, he cries. So when we were born, we were created with the problem solving mechanism in our nervous system. God has created like that. No scientist, no psychologist, nobody knows how that mechanism was created. But we know that the nervous system has that mechanism of, I'm calling it mechanism, is the, I mean, the reaction, okay?
Yes.
Uh, that only we know that the child cries when he's hungry, or if he's wet or unclean, right? When he needs to be changed. These are the small babies cry this because he's in an uncomfortable situation. He doesn't know that he has dirtied his pampers, or he doesn't know, but he feels uncomfortable, right? So he cries to be changed, or he's hungry. These are the two reasons. Or the third reason is if he has pain. Colic babies cry. So when you basically think, we were all born with a problem solving mechanism, that is emotions. Okay, even though the child cannot talk at that, as the child is born, he can cry, right? It's a way of showing that he has a need. So our brain, our nervous system has the need to achieve things. That was a baby, just I gave an example. That's the most vulnerable situation. A young little baby who's born. He is born, he starts crying, right? So it is a very amazing creativity from the creator, from God, right? That we are being born with a emotion that is creation of God, that it creates a problem solving technique in us even before our brain is developed. Can you believe that?
Mm.
When you think about it,
Yes.
isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yes. So when you deeply think, the brain, our brain, the adult brain, leave that aside, that's miraculous, and that's how we've been born, all the entire universe. So when you think as an adult brain, the brain consists of the unconscious mind and the conscious mind. Unconscious mind is the mind that we feed all what is due to our experiences, even things that we create in our minds which are not real. What we do is we just keep feeding our brain unnecessarily. Our thoughts come and go, our thoughts come and go. If you keep thinking of the same thought process, like for example, if I think this, here I'm sitting here and it's very dangerous, somebody will come and rob me, right? For example, right? What will my emotion state be? What kind of state I would be in?
Sad, unhappy.
I'll be in a survival mode. I will, my brain nervous system will be on a survival mode. That is anxious, anxiety, fear. Okay. And
Hmm.
I will think of ways to protect myself, right? That's called the
Yes.
survival mode. When we are in, now what did we do when we got COVID? We all were on survival mode, right? We wore gloves, we covered ourselves with masks, we used sanitizers, we did everything to survive, right? So our brain goes into a survival mode when the brain feels the brain is in danger, right? The brain goes into a happy mode when the brain feels the brain is relaxed and happy. The brain goes into a stressful mode when the problem solving techniques becomes challenging, difficult, right? Now, why did you get stressed out, Isra? Because you wanted to develop yourself, right? Personal
Yes.
development. When you couldn't, what did your brain go into? A stress mode, right?
Yes.
You could
Yes.
find answers, right? You were finding, oh, what will I do? What will I do, right? I'm lost.
Yes.
That's the feeling you got, right? So when you think of the mind, the brain altogether, the brain goes into different modes, right? Happy mode, sad mode, sorrowful mode, uh, excited mode, anxious mode. Okay. Now, for example, if you're traveling and if you're lost, what does the brain go into? An anxious mode. You're worried, right? Uh, if you, for example, you are hungry, what mode does it go into? It goes into a mode of
Hunger.
you're in hunger mode, right? You want food to fulfill
Yes.
your tummy, right? So everything has a pattern in the brain. Every action has a reaction, right? If
Yes.
I lose my way, I'll be anxious. I'll be stressed out. If I'm sitting in a dangerous place, like for example, when I was traveling in Paris, somebody said you'll get pickpocket. Somebody will flick your money and go off. Be very safe. So even though there was nobody around me, I was still very scared that I will lose my money. So there was anxiety there, right? Because my brain
Yes.
created things which did not exist. Sorry, it didn't exist, but I created those patterns in my brain because I was fed with that in my unconscious mind. I stored in my unconscious mind, then consciously thought about it, then reacted in an unconscious way. Even though the reaction was not real, there was nobody around me, but I had those emotions in my brain, right? I was in
Yes.
an emotional state of fear, right at that point. So, what I did, I made sure that I was really protected. I made sure I put my bag inside my coat, and that's what the human mind does. We protect ourselves, right? Now,
Yes.
have you ever felt in your life that you need to protect yourself? During COVID, all of us felt. That's a simple, universal reason currently, I can say, right?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
We all were scared for our parents, we were scared for us, we were scared for our children. We were all threatened by COVID. So we were all on that point on a survival mode. So today we will study, take a pen and a paper. I will just finish the last line. We'll do a lovely exercise which you will understand your brain better. Okay. It files and logs. Every one of your memory is following ways. So everyone's memory is following your ways. The direction you take always, like for example, what you feed yourself with. I'm not saying eating when you say feeding. I'm talking about what you feed your memory with. Okay, the feelings, the fears, the negativity. That's what you will become. Like for example, if I sit here and think, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to complete this or finish my work or go out in the evening for my walk. How will I do all these activities together? What happens to my brain? It gets overwhelmed. And when it gets overwhelmed, it cannot focus. If it doesn't focus, I cannot be what? Tell me. Be
You
in
can
a, what is, sorry.
you cannot be productive at all about in any way.
Obviously, that's the that's the bottom line. You cannot be productive. So our functions of the unconscious mind is the creation of our present. Like for example, it's such a waste when you think, our unconscious mind has all what we have gone through in the past. Okay, we store it and we take it as examples in the future. And 90%, like see for example, if a person is traveling on a aircraft and it has high amount of turbulence, okay, it would have been a 10 minutes turbulence, but this person lives with that fear throughout his life. He believes that if he goes on the next aircraft, he'll get again into the same situation. So what he does, he avoids that situation. So what happens is that 10 minutes fear, he loses a lifetime of experiences. Isn't that sad? That's exactly what human beings do. A fear that is in the heart will never let you be progressive. Anger that's in your heart will never be able to make you forgive people. People lose their relationships because of a one just 1 hour fight or dispute or argument. They lose their relationships because of that. Throughout lifetime relationship is destroyed, right? Isn't that really sad? That's because our unconscious mind gets hurt. So that's what we are built with, our emotions, our unhappinesses, our happinesses, everything is stored. That's the reason we like some people and we don't like some people, because our experiences tell us to underline the people that we like, the group of people we like, and the people we don't like. Okay, because those are our experiences with those people. So what we did with our brain is we grouped those people. I don't like for example, you would have heard people saying, I don't like negative people, I don't like mm, people who gossip. I don't like this kind of people. I don't like this kind of people, judgmental people, whatever. But that particular person would have been judgmental only once. That may be a state of mind due to irritation, anger, whatever. But what did you do? You went and labeled that person a lifetime judgmental human being. You never gave him a second chance. Am I right?
Yes.
So what have you done there? You messed your relationship. NLP teaches you to separate a person with the state of mind. Now, for example, I see somebody very angry, right? But I do not label that person as an angry person. I do not put him unconsciously in a list of people I dislike. I don't dislike anybody in the world. I really like everybody because I never associate the personality with the person. You know, the personality would have occurred at that very moment due to some argument, something. Okay, maybe that person's usual personality doesn't consist of that attribute. But what normal people who don't know NLP, they connect that. That's why we have bad relationships. That's why we have bad friendships, hurtful family disputes. We have so many bitterness in our minds because we associate the person with a permanent tagline that this person is a rude person. This person is this. This situation is this. This experience was bad for my life. I'm done now. I will never be progressive. So we have created this which does not exist at all. Did you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
We've taglined every single person. We've taglined everything in our surrounding. We have taglined our experiences. We have messed up our brain with all negative unconscious mind activities that exist in our brain unnecessarily. Now, what do we do with it? How do we get rid of it? Is a $1,000,000 question, which I will teach you how to get rid afterwards. Okay. So we can get rid of these negativities by disassociating ourselves from these memories and these experiences. So it's so interesting that we react according to the situation. That's a normal behavior of a human being. But living with that negative experience without clarity is not right. Okay, don't you think it's very unreasonable to be so judgmental? What do you feel?
Yeah, it is.
What do you feel? Don't you think that we mess our relationships, joys, everything because of such unreasonable judgmentals? We create such a negative world when the world is so beautiful. And you know, when you're angry, you're punishing your own self. When you're negative, you're punishing your own self. You're not punishing anybody else. Because you are creating those negativities. You're living in those negativities. Your behavior consists of negativity. Then what happened? Your output is negativity. Right?
Yes.
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 So you have to come out of that. That does not exist in real, in your nervous system. That's why the human brain is very creative. That's why we love stories. Why do we watch movies? We waste 2 to 3 hours watching a movie. Why? And we enjoy it. Why does the human brain enjoy it so much? Because human brain loves stories. We love stories. Everyone loves any kind of stories. It may be the other day I had to do an observation that was so interesting. I was observing I was doing that for early childhood, and I saw the child was enjoying the activity, and unconsciously I saw the teacher, who was around 45 years old. She was having a beautiful time. She was smiling and doing the observation because she was engrossed. So we like what happens around us. We feel that vibrancy. We feel the stories that are around us are interesting. Why do we go to us? Why do general people, not all, generally people like going to a cinema or watching a movie or watching a documentary or watching a real life documentary? Why? Because we are connected to stories. We are connected to interactions. People say we don't like interactions. How can it be? Then how do you talk? People who are introverts also like to talk to certain people, even a little, right? So everyone has a capacity to interact, to talk. Okay, so it is the human brain itself is so interesting and so fascinating. What do you feel?
Yes. So
Yes.
true.
Yes.
Don't you think that we have the capacity to create those magical moments if we are not judgmental, if we are not, people who judge people, or we have a rude perception in our mind, a very unkind perception, and if we do not have that perception, if we are clear minded, how beautiful will it be?
Yes.
How would you feel if you felt good always about the people around you? You will feel empowered, you will feel happy, you will feel so progressive. You will not have that survival mode barriers in you. What is a survival mode? It's not only survival, it's surviving with the relationships that you have, okay, where you didn't have to fight, you didn't have to argue to survive those relationships. If it was all very smooth, what would you feel? Tell me.
Comfort, security.
Exactly. You will feel secure, comfort. You will feel trusted. You will feel as if you are valued. You have space in the house where you hold a huge space in the house. People are happy with you, where people accept you the way you are. You feel very comfortable where you belong to. The feeling of belongingness is so important, right? So we don't actually, we are human who are very complicated, very, very complicated. That's why the other day I was asking some students, if you have, what would you value most in your value system? Hafja, what will you value most in your value system?
In terms of,
In terms of your values, like for example, will you value honesty? Will you value justice? What would you value?
what value,
If we
loyalty,
one,
honesty.
sorry, yeah, honesty. That is
Mm.
important for your value system, is it? Honesty.
Yes.
Okay. And what about Albina? What would you value in your value system?
Mm, I'm. I think I agree with Isra. Honesty and
Hafsa. Hafsa.
kindness.
Yes. Kindness
Wait,
and honor.
mhm. Sorry.
And it's okay, don't worry. And what about
Honesty.
honest?
Honesty.
Okay.
Kindness.
And what
Kindness.
about Isra?
Trust.
Trust. Okay. So it also comes on the borderline of honesty, trust, all this come in one huge sector, where it all, with honesty only we build trust. So it is connected anyway. So do you think people who love us are honest? Who really love us?
Yeah.
Always?
I don't think so.
But
No one can be 100%
if
honest.
people who love us are always honest, or no? What do you think?
No.
Hafsha?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
no. Albina?
No.
And what about Isra?
No. I don't think
Why?
so.
Three of y'all said no. Why?
Because it's humanly not possible.
Exactly. What happens to the human brain? Okay. Uh, we as human beings, people may say, I'm a very honest person, right? And people will also say, I never lie. Okay. People will also say that I really, really care. But we all do what is best for us at that very moment. For example, if you see a person in the ICU, maybe your loved one, God forbid, never should that happen, you're not going to tell that person you are very critical, right? You're going to
Mhm.
tell you're going to be fine, inshallah. I'm praying for you, you're going to get better. What do you do there? You compromise on the real aspect of life. You can see that person is really sick, but you don't put that picture. You try to comfort that person, right?
Yes.
That's how the human brain works. Like, that's how the human capacities are. We try to comfort people with our love, with our encouragement. That's how, like, if somebody is not doing well in life, what do we say? Things are going to get better. Do you know the things are going to get better? Are you sure about it?
No.
Nobody is sure. But what do? We comfort the person. We don't say, no, things are not going to get better. It's going to, I really don't know what will happen to you. Okay, you're doomed. Do you do that?
No.
You don't do that, right? What do? You're still not sure. You see the person going downhill, but you say, don't worry, everything will work out in your life, inshallah. Don't you say that?
Yes.
You don't say you're doomed and you're gone, khalas, you don't have hope. You don't do that to people, right? So see how our progressive brain works. We are very adjustive, right? We know how to, our brain is very manipulative. So if you think about it, when you know somebody is having so much of problems, you are just saying everything will be all right, but you're not telling the truth, right? You're not showing, you are comforting the person, but you're not telling exactly where he's heading to, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So see the human brain, how manipulative the brain is. When you think of the brain, it is very powerful, and it also has a lot of energies that bring the positivity and the negativity. The brain is always in a state of uh, creating things in a positive manner. Now, for example, if a person is anxious, what does he do? He becomes, I have spoken to anxious people. When they have anxiety disorder, they sweat, their heart rate is very high, right? They cannot focus. They cannot be in a normal state of mind. They feel out of control. Have you ever felt anxious? Very, very anxious.
Yes.
Okay. Albina, no?
Yes.
Everybody does. Isra?
I can't think of. Maybe I have. I can't think of a
Good, if you
particular
can't,
name.
that means you have less anxiety. Okay, so we all get anxious, but there is something called anxiety disorder that happens regularly to people. Now, how do you overcome anxiety? First of all, you just change your physiology of your body. You move around. You change. What you do is you rotate your eyes. You just look up sides. Okay, it'll calm your nervous system. You drink water, right? And after 5 minutes, you become calm and you'll get into that mode again. So that's one of the exercises which you should do if you're anxious. If a person has anxiety disorder, obviously you need to consult a medical expert to get, if you're really bad. Lots of people cannot do jobs because they have anxiety disorder. It's a disorder. It's like a depressive disorder. That's different, but just see how you controlled your brain within 5 to 8 minutes. If you did all that, definitely you will go back to the normal state of mind. Okay, so we can control. What is it? Sorry.
I had a question. Sorry, can I?
Yes, yes.
Uh, so ma'am, like you said that when we're talking to people, like for example, honesty, we cannot always do that. Even
Yeah,
subconsciously,
somebody
even
says
like
that,
unconsciously,
yes.
when you've gone to like for condolences or something, you say good things to them, but then we do that with other people, that we say things that maybe we're not even sure about just to make them feel better.
You have
But
to say that. You have to do that as a human. That is human attitude.
yes,
Nothing wrong.
yes,
Yeah.
but personally for me, I've noticed that I don't do that for myself. Like for example, if you're going to tell me that if I'm sick and you tell me you're going to be okay, Hafsa, I would, the first thought that's going to come to my mind is I know she does not mean it, and that's what I would say to myself. So like we do it to other people, but we're not that kind to ourselves. So how can, like, it feels like it's in the brain, but like it's so deep that you can't even, if you want to pinpoint it or like do something about it, you cannot even start
No,
anywhere.
yeah. See, we live in a world. There are a lot of our loving relationships want to support us. You must see the intent of the the subject, for the intent. We study about intent in NLP a lot. The intention behind whatever we do. The intent behind telling you're going to be fine is what? For lots of people in the world, like if I am very sick and somebody tells me, don't worry, everything is going to be fine, I will feel at comfort, right? I'll pray for you. That will be really comforting for me. I will feel that maybe somebody will pray for me and I'll feel better. I will feel, because I have a lot of love towards the people around me, and I would want the same for them as well. Like, for example, if my mom is sick, I will definitely sit and pray for her. If my friend is sick, I will definitely make sure I'll pray for her, I'll send her food, I'll make sure whatever I can do to comfort her, I will do 100%, right? So this, my intent is to make the person feel better. Now, according to psychology, if a child is sick, if you touch the child, the psychologists say that the child recovers quicker. If you hug the child, he recovers quicker. That is a mechanism that's inborn, which is known as care, love, and comfort. These three things are important for a normal human brain. Without this, humans cannot exist, right? So we need the love, comfort, and care when we tell somebody that we really love them and care for them, and definitely I'm going to pray for you and you are definitely going to be fine. For me, if somebody says that, it's a powerhouse of strength. I feel, wow, inshallah, I'm going to be fine. I have so many people praying for me. What would you feel, Hafsha?
I would feel at peace then. If someone says that they're praying for me, then I would feel.
Yes, and I would also tell the person 100% you're going to be fine, because prayers can change your destiny. Okay, that simple wording could change a life to become okay, a life to turn around, I can say. Because during COVID, they did a research that the people who had the willpower and a support system, they recovered faster than the people who were totally isolated. All were isolated, but if they were in connection. And in London, a nurse said, I read online, a nurse said that an old lady was dying with COVID. She was critical. She said every day this lady's daughter used to call her, okay, on video call. She used to connect it for this lady, and she used to say, Mom, you have to recover. I love you so much. I cannot do without you, and you have to fight this. She said that the more this lady called her mom, and more she convinced her that she needs her, she could see the heart rate of the lady becoming better. You know why? Because there was a hope, there was a need, the mechanism of this lady's thinking process turned into hope than giving it up. Even the pain out, it's in God's hand. Life or death is in God's hand. But maybe she had to live, but this was one support system the human had so that she could recover. So why am I talking about the brain? Because the brain has the capacity to recover through comfort, love. It can definitely recover. Do you agree with me, ladies?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
And then one more thing, another question that I had, like for example, we were talking about the unconscious mind before this. So you said that, for example, you were going on a trip and someone told you that,
Yeah.
be careful. You might
Yeah.
get, someone might steal from you.
Yeah.
These things we cannot control. Like we can, in our surroundings, things that we hear, we don't know when it is registered in our unconscious mind and it stays there.
Of course.
So can we do something to control that,
Yeah.
or when we realize it, then we do something about it? But then sometimes it feels like there's some trauma that you don't even know you had until much later on.
Exactly. That's right. So what you do is you evaluate the fear. The fear factor can be evaluated. Now, for example, I was walking, as I told you, in Paris. I was with my family, but I was very scared because my passports were with me and I was very scared. But then I evaluated what can happen worst. My passports are inside my pocket, okay? I'm conscious about it. I'm not, I may get robbed, but I can protect myself and protect my property, like my passport. So I my fear level decreased. You know why? Because of my thought process. Because I thought of, you know, during COVID, I was scared of my parents falling ill because they were in the vulnerable group because they were older. So what I did was I said, can fear make uh, us, I mean, overcome COVID? No. What can overcome COVID? Protection. What can overcome COVID? You know, the things that is possible for by human, what we can do to protect ourselves. So what I did was I spoke to my doctor, who's my friend, and told him to give my parents whatever immunity building vitamins. I did what I could in my capacity, whatever was possible. So what I did is I used the problem solving technique there, got myself into a comfort zone because I've given my best. So that's what happens when you program your brain in the right direction. Your worry becomes less and your problem solving technique abilities go up. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what happens to the brain. When we evaluate the problem, we think of the problem and we solve the problem. That's the reason I tell you all, don't stick around with the problem. If you stick around, you're doomed. You know, you're creating things that don't exist. So that's the reason. Then comes temporarily by listening events on a timeline so you can identify its place in your history. What happens is I had a client who came to me. She used to wake up in the night screaming every single day. She was an adult. She was about 50 years old. Every night she's one of my friends, so she just brought her to me. Not my client, one of my friends, sorry. Every night she had trauma. She didn't know what was bothering her. So we went back to the history of her life. What in the past, what kind of lifestyle did she have, how her childhood was. You know what was her problem? She was actually, her father had died in a major massive car accident, which she was also there in the car. She was only 10 years old when that accident happened. Now she's 50 years old. Every single day she screams and gets up, right? But that didn't happen throughout her life. It happened maybe 1 year ago, regularly, every day, right? I think that was a misconcept that I would have told you all every day. What I meant is 1 year from the day I met her, before I met her. So, why did the thought process come after so many years into this lady's, till 49 years, she was okay, okay. But then, when, like, 49 to 50, she got these traumatic attacks, right, in her sleep. Why? Because of a new incident that happened in her life. She had her marital problems. She had marriage issues. So what happened is she connected that negative incident of her childhood with the existing. So she created a huge issue. So both the issues were created, were living in her unconscious mind. Okay. So what happened right now? Her brain started reacting by screaming in the nights. So what had she got to do? She had to come into terms of reality. There are a lot of exercises that we tell that I'll explain to you when we come into those traumatic events. So what I'm trying to say is that's how she overcame her difficulties. And that's how she created those difficulties in her mind. And that's how she reacted to trauma. So what do you think about this kind of attitude? That human brain is so sophisticated and so sensitive. What our brain does is we interlink each other and we react to that situation in different forms. Suddenly you will say that one of my friends, she's in depression, she's got into depression. I don't know why, but then why is the reason that we have to analyze. It may be a old wound, a new one connected with the old, God knows. Okay, so the human being, when we break down, when there is a nervous breakdown, what happens is accumulations of issues build up and we break down. That's called nervous breakdown. Understood?
Sorry, ma'am, can you repeat the point? Accumulation of?
Lots of events, different events, negative events, which breaks us internally. Sadness, um, lack of happiness, that is sadness, and lack of confidence, lack of being insulted, being belittled, uh, everything together. Okay, financial crisis, illness. If we have lots of problems together, what happens is we break down internally. Then what happens? We get into a nervous breakdown. So that's when people say she's got into a nervous breakdown. You know, she couldn't handle her stress. So have you ever seen people who have got nervous breakdowns? Or have you ever experienced any nervous breakdowns?
Yeah, I've seen people, and I think I've experienced it myself.
It's a very horrible feeling. It's a feeling of loss and lack of hope. Hope is what keeps us going every single day. What is hope? Hope gives us a new vision. Hope is the main thing, is the core of our survival. Now we all know we are going to die, right? Definitely. Death is inevitable, right? Then why are we scared of illness? Anyway, we are going to die because we want to live a good life. We don't want to be sick. There is a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Am I right? We always like good things, but we don't want to go through the process, you know,
Yes.
to achieve those good things, right? Nobody in the world, even the uh, most religious person, nobody wants to die, right? Everybody is trying to survive. Human beings are born with that survival mechanism, right? Only the people who are very depressed, they commit suicide or do whatever. But mostly, if you take the positive, happy, or a normal human being who is not into depression, we all want to survive. We want to protect our family. We want our parents to live forever. We want all those. What did Hafsha say last time? I want my parents to have a good life, long life, healthy life, right?
Yeah.
That means the world to me. What Albina said, I want my family to be fine. Isra said family. I said family. Why? Because we want life. Why are we talking about all this? Because we want to empower our life. We want good things in our lives, right? So how do we make those good things possible? By a good lifestyle, by doing the right thing, right? So there is no existence when you are negative. It's like you're not a living person, because you're living in so much negativity. You're not like a living human being, right?
Yes.
It drains you.
Yes.
It drains your life out of you. So is it worth it living with a very negative mind? No. It's 100% worth it living with a positive mind, right?
Yeah.
So we have a choice between programming our brain in a positive direction or the negative direction. Choice is yours, ladies. Choice is all our choices that we make. Each day you make a choice to be happy. Each day you make a choice to forgive people. Each day you make a choice to empower yourself. Each day you build hope. You create those outcomes with your ability of creating positive outcomes. So the other day I was talking to somebody. If you say, why should I? You will never succeed. You know? Because that why should I word, why should I say sorry? Why should I do this? It's not my business. Why should I? If we all did that, the world will not be a beautiful place. We need to support each other in the family, outside the family, as a human in the universe. We've got to support each other. That's how we grow. We never grow solo, you know, we grow as a group, we grow as a team, you know. So
Yes.
building relationships, building love, building care, building honesty, building happiness, comforting. These are the main core reasons of emotional balanced life. If you're not emotionally balanced, you're not going to have a fruitful life, right?
Yes.
So these things are such a necessity in life. So Hafsha, we have approximately 5 minutes. I'll go one by one to all my students. Actually, NLP, during the NLP session, the lessons are going to be very deep and long. Like, for example, maybe we will finish 5 lines or 6 lines in a lesson, because we have to make sure that you all become great NLP learners, because we cannot rush this subject. So
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
feel overwhelmed that we only did this much in the class today, but it's a lot of learning and it's a lot of depth in it. Okay,
Ma'am,
so
Yes.
I had a question if I can ask before we speak.
yes, please.
Ma'am, we spoke about nervous breakdown.
Hmm.
I wanted to know, how do we protect ourselves from the breakdown? Because of course we do have some events or something that is there in our mind.
Yeah, this has to come gradually, Isra. Overnight, you cannot protect yourself from nervous breakdown. Even I can get nervous breakdown after knowing NLP. I can.
Hmm.
My brain is a human brain, right? Uh, it depends about on my core value system. My core value is what? My core value is that I have to be a good human being. That's my core value system. I love my family. I need them to be fine. Okay. So if like if my core values get shaken up, okay, for example,
Hmm.
any way or the other, shaken up. Like my parents are old. If they fall sick, my core values will get shaken up, right? Because always I wanted them to be fine. So my core values, what happens? It decreases, right? And it gets shaken up, right? So what
Yes.
happens? My core values, when they get shaken up, and if I have another 10 problems together, how do I solve everything? Even if I'm an NLP trainer, okay, 50% I can solve because I know to train my brain. I'll do it relaxing. But end of it, I am a human, right?
Hmm.
If I
Yes.
get other 10 problems on top of it, what will I do? I will break down. I will not say I'm an NLP trainer, I know my job. I can't be professional at that point, right?
Hmm.
I have emotions. I'm a normal human being. So all the time you will not be in the same state of mind, but you can manage the state of mind, right? Yes,
Yes.
for me to get into a nervous breakdown, chances are less, alhamdulillah, because my brain is trained. But still, I can get into a nervous breakdown. I cannot say 101%. For example, God forbid, I'm traveling in a, uh, God forbid, if I'm traveling and I get a very bad hit, and I have problems with my limbs. I'm such an independent person. I will fall into depression. It will not be easy to handle that. Even if I say I'm positive or not, I'm going to get upset with it, right?
Yes.
So our nervous system totally depends on our fighting ability. I'm not saying physical fighting, I mean mental strength, brain, I'm talking about. How we can face it, how we look at reality, how we can connect to the reality, and how we overcome is the criteria to success. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, ma'am, how did that lady, that 50-year-old lady, overcome that screaming?
Yes, that's what I said. It's a very deep subject where we will do anxiety disorder management, which will come
Okay.
in our course. So that I have to. There are exercises,
Sure.
trauma.
Sure.
She was traumatized, so she has how to manage trauma. There is a way to manage trauma.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Albina, any questions, dear Albina?
No, no, I understand all the well.
How was it today? You enjoyed the course, the class?
Yes, yes, thank you very much. It is very informative, and I had enjoy. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hafsha, how was the class today? I need the feedback every day. So
It
that's why I'm
was
asking, how did you enjoy it? Did you get it? Was it clear?
yes, it was. I realized a few things in myself as well.
Every day you will realize, because it's a process of programming your brain. So every day will be amazing, because each day you will reform your brain with a thought process that's new, and it will be really beneficial. So Alhamdulillah, that's good. And Isra, how was the lesson today? Was it fruitful, beneficial? Did you feel that you could connect with it, and did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understood everything, Especially the last point about the nervous breakdown, because quite made me worry about myself. Hopefully, inshallah, nothing will happen like that. But it did worry me
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
don't worry about it. You're really a worry pot, aren't you?
Sorry.
You're really a worry pot. Don't worry so much. World comes to an end. Okay, so be
Okay,
positive, keep
ma'am.
smiling, and think positive and chill. Life is beautiful. Okay.
Yes.
Y'all, my students, when I completed the course, they were saying, "Oh, why are you finishing the course, last course? We want more of it." So just chill and be happy and be positive. Everything is going to work out. Take care.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you. Bye.
you. Bye.